So always warming up whenever we first get on leash and we want to do stuff.
That's nice.
Go back to some real easy versions of things is really important. Gus
is like,
I'm the camera person, but I also am the distractor of all the other puppies. So sometimes my camera skills go awry. It's because I'm.
Thank you. Yes. So here we are with Larry doing the kind of attention reward zone. He's not totally perfectly pivoted into the side, but that's okay. We're just sort of building this history with him to say, hey, I love what you're doing sitting at the side here. Sorry, your leash is caught under my shoe. Here we go. So this is really great too for when you are out and about and you see another dog or a person or somebody on a bike. You have this sort of attention that you can get from your dog in those situations. And since Larry is now old enough, if you are out and about and you see another dog or, you know, people walking by or strollers, skateboards, bicycles, the best thing to do now with him to just set him up for success would to be put as much distance as you can between you and that object and do exactly this, is just sort of get his attention and reward him for that and let that thing pass, whatever that may be. If you're in a position where you can't do that, the other thing you can do is backwards walking with hand targets, just to keep the dog's attention on you, and then you can pivot it forward and kind of walk into your dog and treat them at your side, always keeping their attention on you rather than the object or the person passing by. I think it's really important to give the passing person or object and the dog the choice, you know, and set them up for choosing you over saying hi to that other person or bike or horse or whatever they may be passing if you're on a trailhead or something. So those are my kind of quick tips and tricks for, managing those situations.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just add another thought, which is that sometimes you'll find with the younger dogs that doing the stationary behavior, even with distance, can be really hard for them. Meaning, so if let's say that we've even crossed the street and we have that dog in that reward zone position where Chloe's sort of getting into right now with the dog at her side, sitting, and we're trying to treat. Sometimes that is just holding that position is too hard for a young dog. And if you find that you're really struggling with that, move right away into that backwards walking and having the dog do hand targeting. It's more active. It sometimes is much easier to keep the dog focused when you add movement to stuff.
Yeah, Larry here is still trying to figure out what my game is. Really what I'm trying to do is just keep him engaged at my side and add movement, meaning I'm taking steps forward and I'm inviting him to come along with me. And if he comes along with me, then I can treat him.
So that brings up another really good point. Larry, I know, has a history of wanting to stop on his walks and not move. And we need to be really cautious about, and I think, again, his barking is just sort of frustration. He doesn't quite know what to do, and he wants some food, and what the hell are we trying to do here? So we need to be really careful, though, about making sure that we don't whip out treats to lure a dog who stops, because that ultimately is reinforcing that behavior. Mm-hmm. So we need to make sure we figure out ways to get that dog moving with us. You know, make a kissy noise, clap your hands, jog a little bit, you know, try to do the hand target. And then once that dog starts moving forward, then we really start heavily rewarding for the movement part.
There you go, do that. Yeah. Got to keep it fun and engaging for him as well.
And again, really short periods of time. Chloe mentioned that right in the beginning, which is that, you know, on a walk, we would only ask for this kind of, you know, attention for maybe even 30 seconds. Like, and then just let the puppy sniff and do its thing and explore its world. We're never working on doing this for, you know, minutes at a time or an entire walk. As that dog gets better, we can extend the amount of time. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yay, Larry.
Yay.
All right, and our last...
Leashes are new. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. So our last puppy today is Lander. And Lander, again, is fairly new. Not as new as Gus, but still more in the beginning stages of our training. So we're just working on some basics here. Luring into that side position, which again takes a lot of skill. Hey.
So Lander is a little confused. You can see, you know, Lander's still trying to pivot in front because that's where the reinforcement history is. And even when I try and move, the butt's kind of scooting out. So we'll just kind of keep working on that and making it tighter and tighter. But this is the first time we've done this, so this is all new. But we're just building the reinforcement history.
And a lot of times starting with kind of that more perpendicular sit instead of trying to fight it. And there, that's even, and then sometimes I'll even scoot back so we're or not.
Yeah.
It just takes time because they really don't get the, oh, we are going to face the same direction and do this? That's weird. So the analogy I always make to people about leash walking, and you have to remember, I think it's easy to think about leash walking like learning to drive a car. Okay, when you learn to drive a car, and I've had to do that with 3 children, the amount of things that your brain has to process, we as adults that have driven forever take for granted. You are thinking about, you know, just the mechanics of driving a car. What foot do I put on the gas? Oh my God, I need to slow down. I need to take my foot off the gas and put it on the brake. And how fast do I do that? And oh my God, another car is coming in. Do I turn my blinker on now? And I mean, it's your brain is working so hard to figure all that stuff out. And that's what it's like for a puppy going out into the world that doesn't know anything in the world. And then we're asking them to try to stay next to us on a leash. And most puppies hate leashes. They don't like it at all. Our biggest problem is that most puppies don't want to walk on a leash. They don't like the feeling of it. And people think, it's a dog. They should want to go out for a walk. So this is really hard for them, just getting all those things that they need to think about. And then fast forward. When you learn the mechanics of driving a car, then your brain doesn't think about driving the car. It thinks about all the things that you're doing. Where are you going? I don't like this song on the radio. Oh my God, I have a call coming in. I'm going to talk on the phone for a while or listen to this podcast. You're not thinking about driving. And so as your puppy gets better at these skills, because we've worked on them so much, they're going to be able to walk next to you and think about a million other things. They're just going to know to walk next to you because, again, we've got muscle memory. They know that that's the place to be, but they don't have to stare at you the whole time. They're not getting treats the whole time. It just becomes the place where it's naturally they've learned to walk. And that's what our goal is, so that then we can just go out and maybe not even have a leash on a dog. Maybe they just learn walking next to you is the place to be. So that's something to think about. And again, going back to just why we only teach leash manners for very short segments, because it takes so much brain power.
Oh yeah.
Hey. And anything you want to say about Lander?
I mean, this is the first time we're working on this, so the fact that Lander's staying engaged is huge, and just really working on building that history of good things happen when you stay close in that sort of reinforcement zone. So that's all we're really trying to work on. And again, just the backwards walking with the hand targeting. And when you're out and about in the world, make sure you bring treats, because Lander does get a little bit spooked. So you want to make sure that you're reinforcing the good experiences with treats, you know, and exposing him to life. Huh.
Yeah, he gets it, but he's getting so much better. And again, that we talked about the hand targeting for distraction, so the dog doesn't lunge after other dogs or bark in excitement. But we use it for the opposite for a dog like Lander, who sometimes gets spooked or nervous about things. Is that, again, we want the brain to think about things it loves to do. So the hand targeting becomes one of those tools that we can use preventively or proactively before a dog starts barking out of nervousness. So awesome job this week, you guys. Lots of things to think about. And just remember that leash walking is really a work in progress, and it takes dogs a long time. Use your harness if you have a dog that pulls forward a lot. That's why we have them. We don't want them getting reinforced or putting that pressure on their neck. And you can talk to me about what would be the best harness if you are starting to go out in the world and are experiencing that. But great job. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye.